So this week's homework is Lab 7. I believe it is another Class C subnetting. So once again, I'll use another example. 195, 199.0/24. So once again, with this assignment, I give you an IP, a network address with a /24 prefix, and then it's our job to break it apart. So identifying this, what class is it? The 195 gives it away for a class. Oops, I was going to say Class A, but it's not Class A, it's a Class C. It is a Class C address. With the /24, you have 256 available addresses to subnet. So let's get started breaking it down. Let's say we need to accommodate, let's see, 30 hosts. Right at the edge of my board there. So we need 30 hosts. We'll draw out our 8 lines. So we need 30 hosts. How many bits are we borrowing? Well, to get to 30, we can't go down to 16. We need to go to 32. So we'll say we're borrowing 1, 2, 3 bits. So we have 16,8,420 left over. So that's 1. I guess I say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over. Because 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 bits give us 1 byte. What is the usable host per subnet? Well, we have 32. Remember, we can't use the first or the last. But for the first answer, the number of hosts per subnets would be 32. Usable would be 30. So we're spot on. That will work. What is the subnet mask? So we start to take, once again, we start to break this up, /25, /26, /27. So we go for our subnet mask, 255, as we're dealing with the Class C. 255.255. And then we add up this digit, and this digit. So 128 plus 64 is 192, plus 32, I believe it's 224. So our subnet mask on each subnet is going to be 255.255.224. And I got this by adding 128, 64, and 32, because those are the bits I'm borrowing. I figured out my prefix early because I drew out my 8 line. I started mapping my prefixes to the 8 lines. So I say my prefix now on each subnet is going to be a /27. So that's going to give me 30 usable addresses, 32 usable addresses overall, because I lose one to the network address and the broadcast address. And I believe that's it. Let's go down and start mapping the next one out. So on subnet 0, 1, 2, 3, which is subnet actually 1, 2, 3, and 4. But in subnetting, in networking, we always call the first one a 0. We'll say that our network address for this one, 195.100.99.0. So that's going to be our first network address. Our second network address, since we're breaking this down into smaller bits, and each subnet's going to consist of 32 addresses. I can go ahead and start filling this in. It's going to be the same numbers, the same first 3 octets, but then the last octet is going to be a 32. Next one, 32 plus 32 is 64. Plus the next one, 96, right? Now make sure you're adding in 32s. Don't double. I've seen a lot of errors happen with math here when they start to double, but don't let that happen to you. Now when we go to recursively fill in, we know that the broadcast is going to be 31, because that's 1 less than 32. Broadcast on this row is going to be a 63. Then we have a 95. Now, since we're continuing on, this one can go on for, I forget how many networks. 2, 4, 6 different networks. Since we can continue on to 6 different networks, that we could figure out the next one. So 32 plus 96 would be 8, 128. So we'll say 127 is this last guy. So now we have the network address and the broadcast address for each row. We go ahead and fill. 1 more than 0 is 1. 1 less than 31 is 30. And continue with this on. So we have the network addresses, the ranges, then the broadcast address. A quick look, evens, odd, evens, odd. We'll verify that if I am first round correct, definitely just scan to see them, make sure that those are all evens and odds. Then I know my math may be correct. A little closer look will verify that my math is correct. Going to the next part, I believe I give you an IP address. Let me copy this on the board real quick, or copy an IP address on the board. 195.199, and we'll say, okay, that one will work. Let's go to our new page. So I give you an IP address. .195.100.99.130. And I believe I say identify the network address and the broadcast address. This one was kind of easy. Let us work through it a little bit. So first off, I know that this is even, so it could possibly be a range, and it could possibly be a network address. But if I was to look back at my previous score, or my previous sheet, I could see that the range here would be 96 to 127. My next one is going to be .128 plus 32 would be 50, 60. And then this one would be 159. So like, that 130 probably fits in here. Go back over here and say, okay, my network address should be 128. The range will be 129. So 128 plus 32 would give me 160. For the next network address, I can go back over here and say 159 is my broadcast address, and then my 130 is here, and then my 158 would be here. So here I found out my network address, my broadcast address, and then verified that my 130 is actually within this range. Is actually within this range. And that's that exercise.